The Constitution of the United States means a lot. It means basically that I'm a free man. I'm an American. It means that I have life, liberty, and the pursuit of all who threaten mine and my family's happiness. I wouldn't say that that I agree with everything that's on it, because we don't really follow suit with everything that's on it. But I do agree with the most part what it stood for and what it was written for. At the beginning, it was written for certain purposes and certain causes, because we were trying to win our independence, and we won that independence. But we got away from a lot of those principles that it was written for. But as a military man, I'm sworn to defend the Constitution, and I prefer not to live in any other country but America, because we have a Constitution that states what it does. I believe that we're on the right track to get back to what the Constitution was based on, but I feel we have a way to go. But the Constitution means to me everything that I stand for. My daughter, my entire family, and why I wear this uniform is because of the Constitution.
The Constitution to me means that I have the freedom to live in a country where I can express myself in any way that I can, particularly religiously. I have the freedom to practice my Christian religion, and it also means that the people around me have freedom to express themselves through the other religions, through writing, through any way that they feel. And it also gives us it sets us apart from other countries in the world where we have liberty and free education, which is really important.
I think the Constitution is kind of a representation of the people of the U.S. and our ideas and rules, kind of, and it's a reflection of that, I guess.
Great. Anything else to add?
Oh yeah, and it also it shows how far we've come in the last 300 years and how we started without kind of freedom of speech and stuff, and now how that's one of the biggest rights, and obviously the First Amendment. And the Constitution just kind of symbolizes how we created a government and how the government functions pretty well, in my opinion. Obviously it's corrupt, but it functions still.
Constitution means to me freedom mostly, freedom to do whatever we want, as long as it's within our rights, not violating anybody else's rights. So that's pretty much it.
The Constitution was a really good idea like 250 years ago, and it worked really well. And it's the framework of our country, how things should work, and we should keep it around because it's been doing pretty good compared to a lot of other constitutions.
For me, it means freedom to be who I am and live the way I want to without the government telling me what to do or how to live, and giving me the rights that a lot of people don't have in other places around the world. Some of my favorite rights, I guess, are the right to practice my beliefs and religions, and my freedom of speech. And yeah, I think there's a lot of unspoken freedoms that we have that aren't even written in the Constitution. So I feel privileged to, be in a country that has a Constitution that tells us, we can live however we want. We don't have to be, tied down to what the government says we have to do or look like a lot of other people are kind of stuck in that.
The Constitution means to me, basically, it's the foundational rights for a country. It enumerates the powers that the federal government has, and those powers which are not delineated are left to the states. And I think that's kind of the meat and potatoes as far as the Constitution is concerned, that the federal government is trying to encroach so much, especially in these times, as far as taking more control over the personal lives of citizens, whether it be through healthcare, more regulation, higher taxation, all sorts of government control. And from the First Amendment, freedom of speech, to the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, those are all absolutely essential rights for our citizens, and I think that they're under attack this day and age. They're marginalized, and they're trying to be represented as not meaning what they truly do mean. A lot of people, you know, when they think of the Second Amendment, it doesn't mean, you know, a right to own a handgun. Well, it does. I think the Second Amendment says that you have the right to own a gun and the right to protect yourself. So that's just an example of how I think the Constitution is being, you know, perverted and being interpreted incorrectly. And I think it's incumbent upon students and the community as a whole to really understand what the Constitution says and to promote the original meaning. So.